After the whistle begins in Huntington, where this happened. Quarterback Eric Micah drops back, evades pressure, looks downfield, and heaves a pass for receiver Tyler Long. And he said, "Get on up," to the cornerback as he mosses him. Would it lead to a late Bearcat comeback? I'm Matt Scalzo. We'll have more on that game and others around District 6.
And I'm Mac Young. Plus, a preview of Penn State's home opener versus the Ohio Bobcats. After the whistle starts now. First up, let's take a look at the highlights from our game of the week between Bald Eagle and Bellefonte. So let's head out onto Bellefonte. It's a big rivalry game between the Red Raiders and Bald Eagle, the Curtain Bowl. First quarter of a scoreless game. Trey Green's going to rumble it on in for a touchdown. Bald Eagle would go up 7-0. Now we're going to look at the second quarter. Nagel, little swing pass out to Wyatt Spackman. Runs, makes a little juke there for an 11-yard score. Bald Eagle goes up 14-0. The crowd is excited. They're amped up. Later in the second quarter, Nagel's going to hit Cameron Watkins. A little screen pass. He makes number 5 miss there. Nice block. Cutting across to the sideline. Does he have enough room to get in? Yes, he does. Pounding into the end zone. Bald Eagle would go up 35-0 at half thanks to that 34-yard score. What a beautiful screen pass. Great night for Bald Eagle. No doubt running away with it for a 48-0 victory. Their first of the season. Next week, Bald Eagle is going to travel to Penns Valley while Bellefonte will head to Tyrone. But with me right now, somebody who spent the night in Bellefonte. He got some great pictures. Logan Barandis joins me on After the Whistle. How you doing, Logan?
I'm doing great, Mac. It was a great game between two rivals, and this rivalry game, it turned into a demolition and left the visiting team no doubt.
The Bald Eagle area Eagles came away with their first victory of the season in a dominating Curtain Bowl rivalry matchup. The Eagles gained momentum with early plays on special teams, with 2 onside kick recoveries, paving the way for an offensive display on the road.
We're pretty proud of the kids. You know, they worked really hard this week. You know, like people were doubting us because, you know, we didn't really perform the first 2 weeks. We know what we have. Kids know what they can do, and tonight we put it all together that first half.
Quarterback Carson Nagel led the charge with 4 passing touchdowns, and running back Trey Green pitched in with 2 rushing touchdowns of his own, all before the end of the first half.
We needed this win. We were 0-2, made some mistakes, bad. I made mistakes. We needed this game. Big confidence game, big rivalry. It's awesome. It's back where it belongs.
It was a huge win. You know, we definitely needed that confidence boost coming off of 2 losses. It's not the limit, but we definitely could have did better. We had some mistakes, but it was a huge win to get our confidence up and go into next week.
The Curtain Bowl trophy made its way to the Bald Eagles sidelines during the game, and the Eagles get to bring the trophy back home.
Thanks, Logan. Let's now go 30 minutes down the road for our battle. Next battle, as we stay in Center County, Hollidaysburg traveled to downtown State College to take on the Little Lions. Last week, State College squeezed out a close win over Downington East, 32-31. We pick it up in the middle of the first quarter. It's a QB to QB combination. Owen Yurka finds quarterback Finn Firmanek. 10-0 State High with the lead. Now later in the first quarter, Deontay Sheffy, known for his speed, while he turned into Derrick Henry as he said, "Get off me." Breaking tackles left and right en route to a 22-yard run. Sets up 1st and goal. On the very next play, it's Sheffy again, punching it in from 1 yard out. State High takes a 17-0 lead. Middle of the second quarter, it's Firmanek connecting with Dante Nastasi as Little Lions would take a 23-3 lead. Heading into halftime, they would cruise the rest of the way and improve to 3-0 by taking down the Golden Tigers by a score of 45-3. State College with the beatdown of Hollidaysburg 45-3. Next week, Hollidaysburg returns home to host Butler Area High School, with State College heading to Altoona.
Tyrone returns home to face Phillipsburg Osceola late in the first quarter. We're going to get into the highlights coming up here. Late first quarter, we're going to pick it up. There's a beautiful shot of the field, looking very nice. And here we are, late in the first quarter. Pass going out to Colton Bears, who's going to make a beautiful one-hand grab. Unfortunately, that drive would stall out. Missed field goal, make the game 7-0. Midway through the second quarter, Tyrone's already up 7-0. Seth Hoover's going to punch it in for a 12-yard score. Tyrone would go up 14-0. Cheerleaders getting hyped up there. Now we're going to pick it up late in the second quarter, around just under 4 minutes to play. Draven Crowell getting ready to return this punt. He's got it there. He's going to make a move, try and go out to the sideline, look for a block, makes a little juke there, getting to the outside. Now he's going to cut it back on in home, trying to go for that far pylon. Does he see the light at the end of the tunnel? Yes, he does, baby. There he goes. Touchdown there would put Tyrone up 21-0. Late in the second quarter now, Ashton Walk finds Luke Walk, saying walk this way into the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown pass. 28-0 Tyrone. They would head into the locker room up 35-0. Your final score at the end of the night, Tyrone winning in a smackdown 49-0. Tyrone with that big win over Phillipsburg. Osceola, you're seeing it right now. Osceola is going to welcome in Clearfield next week, and as mentioned before, Tyrone will host both Bellefonte in their next matchup. Juniata Valley fell to Southern Huntington 28-14, while Richland blanked Bishop McCourt by a final score of 38-0.
Bishop Guilfoyle ran away from Somerset 55-7, and Bedford continued suit with a 51-7 thrashing of Westmont Hilltop.
And it was a big win for Central Cambria over Greater Johnstown, 47-6. A little bit of a closer contest, just a 2-score game between Moshannon Valley and Glendale. Moshannon Valley wins 29-14.
Now let's go to Mansion Park, where Altoona is hosting Mifflin County. We pick it up in the first quarter. It's Brennan Freewald, 3-yard rushing touchdown, 7-0 Altoona with just over 6 minutes left to go. Freewald feasting on the field, that young fan chowing down on a hot dog. Start of the second quarter, it's Freewald again, breaking free, a 13-yard rushing touchdown, 14-0, the lead for Altoona. Then it's Christopher Seward, 10-yard end-around rushing touchdown, extends the lead, 21-0, and immediately following the touchdown, it's Branson Adams with the interception, giving the ball back to Altoona. And the Mountain Lions would cruise on their way to a 38-0 victory over Mifflin County. Freewald finished with 3 rushing touchdowns. Next week for Mifflin County, they hit the road for a date with Lower Dauphin. And as it was alluded to before, Altoona stays at home to face State College.
Penns Valley made the trip to Huntington tonight for the first ever youth night. And here we go, the Bearcats taking the field. And towards that start of the first quarter, Jackson Romig for Penns Valley fires a 34-yard strike to Miles Brook. Penns Valley take the 7-0 lead as he threw up the peace sign. On the next Penns Valley possession, Richard Wasson powers through for the touchdown. Penns Valley doubles their lead, 14-0. Crowds getting excited as the second quarter, Tyler Long intercepting Jackson Romig on a deflection. But Huntington could not take advantage, would remain 21-0 Penns Valley. Huntington trying to get back in the game. Here's our play of the weekend. Tyler Long, get up there. Big play there, the mossing. Oh, finally, Huntington would get on the scoreboard, but missed the PAT, be 21-6. Next possession, Jackson Romig plunging into the end zone, taking the charge. Penns Valley would take a 27-6 lead into half and hold on to beat the Bearcats 41-14. Penns Valley improved to 3-0 on the season, and they're going to return home next week to face Bald Eagle, while Huntington will travel to Tussey Mountain. Coming up next on After the Whistle, Penn State gets to break in Beaver Stadium with its first home game.
But first, here are some scores from around the state. We will see you back here in a bit.
Welcome on back into the studio. Hope you enjoyed seeing those scores. Now we're going to send it out to Joe Callahan, who's going to tell us about Penn State's matchup tomorrow against Ohio.
Penn State football took to practice fields to iron out their game plan for tomorrow's matchup. Has anything changed from last week's roller coaster? Let's take you right to Huluba Hall.
After another week of preparation, the Nittany Lions are ready to take Beaver Stadium for the first time of the season after defeating the Purdue Boilermakers 35-31 on the road. As a team poised with promising youth, Coach James Franklin was pleased with how his rookies performed.
For most of those guys, they were able to kind of rotate in kind of in a complementary fashion rather than, you know, being the first guy on the field and having to kind of carry the load. So hopefully that will continue to grow. But so far so good. We've been pleased with them. Hopefully we'll get more guys opportunities this weekend.
A main issue with the team's offense was drops, but veteran quarterback Sean Clifford is not worried for the future of this team.
Realistically, it's all about just getting back on the jugs. We got a bunch of confident wide receivers, and they showed it in you know, the rest of the game. I thought that the drops are controllable for sure, but I'm not getting on guys because I know what they can do, and they know what they can do. It's one of those things where it's the first game. It's all about making that week 1 to week 2 jump, and coming out and being a better football team this week.
The Lions take on the Ohio Bobcats in Beaver Stadium tomorrow at noon.
We'll be ready for a great one. I'm Joe Callahan Jr. reporting for After the Whistle.
Thanks, Joe. Rounding out our show tonight, back at Memorial Field, where State College welcomed the area elementary schools for kindergarten night. Representatives from the 9 district elementary schools were announced to start the game. The class of 2035 took the field and got to watch their future team win. 45-3 was the final. Mac, if you're me, really turn back the clock for me. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of After the Whistle. Shout out to our team for the hard work tonight. Next week, we are right back at it. We will see you then. After the Whistle.